road. Thanks so much for being here tonight. Before we get started, I'd like to just take a moment and just share a little bit of give you a little bit of my personal background. I'd love to get to know you all a little bit better. A little bit about me. I am a father of 6 children. My oldest is 20. My youngest is 3 years old. It's inevitable at some point that you'll probably hear him running through the house somehow. Just kind of how things go here. I'm a husband of 20 years. I'm an entrepreneur. I love entrepreneur. I've owned a number of different companies over the years. My specialty is marketing. I love marketing. I love being involved in helping bring a product or a company to the marketplace, especially if it's a revolutionary product or a category creating product like we have here with Uforia. So we're gonna be diving into that tonight. What you can expect tonight is we're going to be exploring DNA nutrition. So we're going to talk a little bit about, first and foremost, I want to dive into just the history of nutrition and kind of how vitamins and supplements have evolved over the years. And so I'd like to start with that conversation tonight. Then we're going to get into the science behind DNA nutrition. How did this all come about? Where did it first start? How has it evolved over the years? We're going to be talking about something called nutrigenomics, which is nutrition and your genes, the study of nutrition and your genes, especially when it pertains to sickness, illness, and disease. So we're going to get into that a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about how we are different, what we're doing that's different, that's unique. We're the one and only in the entire world that's truly doing personalized nutrition at the level that we are. With our comprehensive panel, we have the most comprehensive DNA panel in the world. So we'll talk a little bit about that tonight. And for those of you that want to stick around, if you'd like to learn a little bit more about becoming a nutritionist and the business opportunity side, we'll be doing that kind of on chapter 2 tonight as well. So does that sound good to you guys? So let's get into it. So first and foremost, let's just talk a little bit about where it all started. Kind of where did the vitamin and industry start? It's fun if you kind of do a timeline and look at the progression and the changes of vitamins and supplements over the years. So everything kind of started around, the 30s and 40s. We had soldiers that were going off to war, and we had to figure out how could we keep these soldiers healthy, right? So what they did is they, brought some of the best, minds together, and they said, okay, we've got to give these soldiers just an abundance of vitamins and supplement minerals to be able to make sure that they can stay healthy when they're over there doing what they do and protecting our country and ultimately giving us our freedom. And so they came up with the world's first ultimately multivitamin. And essentially what it was kind of a shotgun approach, if you will, a shotgun approach to health. It was kind of like, let's just take, we're going to decide on the things that we believe the body needs. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to give them a ton of it. And the body will use what it needs. It'll get rid of the things that it doesn't. And we're just going to do our best, right? And what's interesting is that even though we've had a lot of evolution over the years, around the 60s and 70s, for example, you had the government that started getting involved with these multivitamins, and so they started to put their spin on it. And then as you go into the 80s and 90s, we had all kinds of crazy dietary, things that were introduced. We've seen, the diet program go from, low fat, high carb, which caused all kinds of diabetes, the diabetes epidemic. And then we've seen, the Atkins diets, and we've seen all these different diets over the years. There was even at one point, if you go all the way back, at some point throughout this process, they were advertising cigarettes as a fantastic way to lose weight. And so we've seen just the whole spectrum of things that have changed over the years. But really what hasn't changed, if you continue to go through all of these changes in the 90s, you get into the 2000s, and now we're talking keto diet, and we're talking about fasting, right? And we're talking about macros and all of these different things. And over the years, we've had new supplements that have been introduced. I mean, who remembers the juice blend cycle, the big boom of all of the superfoods, right? So in the early 2000s, Dr. Oz started talking about acai, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, I got to have acai berry. And then it was like, no, mangosteen has got a higher ORAC value than acai. And it's like, well, I got to go get mangosteen now. And then it's like, well, what, have you heard of the goji berry? The goji berry is amazing, and it's got all these health benefits. It's like, oh, I got to go get the goji berry now. And so there's like all of these different superfoods, and things are evolving, right? And it was kind of like, you know, the next company would come out and they'd be like, look, you know, we climbed higher on the mountain and we found this other berry over here, and this berry is better than this berry. And so it just, you know, exactly, there's all these different berries, right? And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong, but it starts to get a little bit kind of confusing and overwhelming. And then along the way, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, have you heard of turmeric? Turmeric is amazing. You know, it fights inflammation in the body. And then, oh my gosh, have you heard of CoQ10? Are you taking your CoQ10? And then this person over here's one, well, you know what, if you've got headaches, you need more magnesium. That's the problem, is you need more magnesium in your diet. Are you taking your iron? Are you anemic? Because you need more iron. And it's like, oh my gosh, you know, where do I, you know, what do I take? How much do I take? And here's the interesting thing. This is what a lot of us do. So we kind of just do our best guess, right? I mean, we do research and we try to learn. And I like to think that most of the people that are on this presentation tonight, you obviously care about your health or you wouldn't be here. And so many of you guys are further along, or you're even experts in this area. And so what happens is over time, you start, maybe you read an article over here and think, okay, I'm going to try this product, right? And so, oh, that product sounds good. That company put out a new product and it's got this, this, and this in it. I'm going to try that. The other day we were shopping at Costco. Anybody else love Costco as much as me? I love Costco. There's just something about that store. Every time I go, I'm going to see something new. So we're at Costco and you know, as I get towards the end, Costco's always busy here in Arizona. It's like super busy. So by the time that I've been in there like 45 minutes and I'm like fighting to kind of get through lanes, I'm ready to go, right? So I'm like the one that's always kind of going up to the aisle first. And my wife is like somewhere like, you know, she'll be like, I'm just going to go grab one thing. I'll be right there, honey. And then I'm like standing in the line just waiting, right? So I'm standing in the line like right before we go to the checkout and I'm trying to find something. And by the way, can anybody relate to this? This is like our visit to Costco every time we go. You know, we got a big family, so we go to Costco a lot. So I'm standing there and this lovely older lady that's standing there and she says, have you had your CoQ10 today? I'm like, no. She says, come here for a minute. So I love a good sales pitch. And so I go over and she starts talking to me about all the different benefits of CoQ10 and the brain, you know, the protection of the brain and the cellular level and all this stuff, right? So I try it, tastes good. So what do? I buy it. I mean, I'm an easy sell. And so, and then a few weeks later, I went back and the same lady's there. And now she's selling a partner product that's it's turmeric. And it's supposed to go with your CoQ10. I'm like, well, I got to have that too. So if you came to my house and you opened up my cupboards, and I'm sure some of you are the same way, I have like a plethora of supplements and vitamins from over the years. Some from companies that were like 5 years ago. Summer said to me the other day, can I throw this away? I'm like, no, that's still good. She's like, honey, the expiration date's like 3 years ago. And I'm like, those are just guidelines, right? So I'm not kidding. I'm kidding. Don't take products that are 5 years old. But my point is that we've had this shotgun approach to our health for so long. And here's what hasn't made sense to me. Everybody's body is different, right? So, you know, we're all different. Genetically, every single one of us has this own unique genetic code that makes us us, right? We are as unique as a grain of sand on a beach. You are as unique as a snowflake. There's no two snowflakes that are ever the same. You are beautifully created as you know, and there's no one else like you on the planet. And as a result of that, your body is going to require different fuel at the foundational level, at the cellular level, than someone else's. And Summer and I have always kind of laughed. We've always had this running joke. We've always said, you know, I think that people are going to laugh one day, and they're going to say, our children are going to laugh one day and say, I can't believe you guys all used to take the same vitamins, because we go to the store and we buy a one a day or whatever the vitamin is or supplement. We come home and we look at the label and it says, both of you take the exact same recommended daily allowance. Now, it makes zero sense that I would take the same recommended daily allowance as my wife. Like, she's, you know, 100, whatever, 80 pounds lighter than me. She's, you know, got different hormones than I do. She's struggling with different areas than I am. And so we've always wanted to get to that true customization. And we've actually explored it. We've explored it. You can get true customization. It's been available, but it's really only been available for celebrities. It's only been available for professional athletes or people that are extremely wealthy. And the reason why is because to get to true customization for you, you have to go see, first you have to have a DNA test done. And, you know, DNA testing, depending on which panel that you're testing, at the comprehensive level of our panels, you know, you're going to spend $800, maybe $1,000. So you got to go get the DNA tested, but some people can do that. And then you have to go see a specialist that's their job. That's what they do is they create custom formulations of nutrition. And so, they might use, I have a friend of mine who's fighting cancer, and the first thing that they did is they went and hired a cancer coach that could point them in the right direction of the things that they needed to do. First things they started having them do was juicing and eliminating sugars, and go see this doctor and this specialist. And what I want you to do is have your DNA tested. After your DNA is tested, what we want you to do is get a custom formulation of nutrition that's based on your genetic makeup, right? That's what they had her do. And so she did this, and it's $1,500 to $2,000 a month. And she actually had to cut out some of the ingredients that were needed because she just couldn't afford any more. I have a friend of mine who lives in Las Vegas. Some of you know him really well, who spends tens of thousands of dollars a month on custom formulations of nutrition specifically for him. So up until now, it's been a luxury that the average person just couldn't afford. And that's why I love what it is that Uforia is doing, because they're different. So that's essentially where the market has been, is it's kind of a one-size-fit-all approach to nutrition. And a lot of us are just guessing. So over the last 10 years, and especially the last year, there's something called targeted nutrition that's starting to show up, right? So your news feeds, especially if you happen to click on one of these ads one time, or just have a conversation about customized nutrition, and if your phone is laying anywhere around the next day, kind of baffles me, kind of scares me a little bit, but your news feeds will be full of all these vitamin companies and customized nutrition, right? They say they're not listening. They're listening. So targeted nutrition, let's talk a little bit about what that is. So there's a lot of companies that are out there right now. I think that Ancestry might have a little version of this. I think Melaleuca might have a version of this. There's like ID Life and a few of these other customized companies right there. They're really targeted. And here's what targeted nutrition is. So essentially what they'll do is they'll do some type of a panel. So they'll do a test on the front end, and it could be a blood test, or it could be even a DNA test, right? And then depending on the results, you'll fall in bucket number 1, bucket number 2, bucket number 3, bucket number 4, bucket number 5. And so you fall into one of these categories, and then what they've done is they've created prepackaged vitamins and supplements based on these categories. So if I fall in bucket number 1, they're going to send me a packet of vitamins, right? And maybe minerals or whatever the case might be based on bucket number 1, right? So they always say eat for your food, food type should be based on your DNA, these different types of things. Well, I'm not saying that that's bad. It's a step in the right direction, but it's not customization. It's not, how much is too much? How much is not enough? The real question that you have to ask, and this is really the big differentiator, just so you know, between what Uforia is doing and anyone else out there in the marketplace. The real question that you have to ask is, when were those vitamins or supplements formulated? Were they formulated either before the DNA test or after? In every case, these were all formulated before. Our custom nutrition was formulated after. That's the big difference, right? So targeted is a step in the right direction, but it's still not true customization, not at the level that we're doing this. So then you have custom DNA designer nutrition that's made by you and for you based on your own genetic makeup. And that's essentially what we do. So let's talk a little bit about how that process works. So first of all, where did this all come from? Let's get into that a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about just the history of DNA. So, back in the late 90s and the early 2000s, you had something called the Human Genome Project, right? The Human Genome Project. And essentially what this was is some of the most brilliant minds in the area of genetics, doctors, that came together to map out the human genome. What they wanted to do is they wanted to understand what was it about our genetics and how do they impact our overall health. They wanted to map out the human genome. And so they did this and spent many, many years doing this. And there were some huge breakthroughs. There were significant breakthroughs. So they found out that you have hundreds of thousands, potentially even millions of genes. And most of those genes you can't really do anything about, right? They're the reasons why your hair is the color that it is, or your eyes are the color that they are. Perhaps your skin is the color that it is. So there's all these different genes that are predisposed. And then they also found, and this was a huge discovery, that we have actionable genes, okay? Actionable genes. This means they can actually be influenced. They can turn, it's almost like you can turn them on and off like a light switch. And when they found that out, they said, okay, well, if they're actionable, what is the number one thing that influences these genes? And so they looked at all these different things, and guess what they found? They found that our nutrition was the number one variable that influences our genes. So here's the challenge with that. Our bodies are under attack. They're under attack every day. You could be the cleanest eating person on this webinar tonight, and your body's still under attack. Why? Because the soils that our food is grown in, number one, are depleted. So a tomato today versus a tomato 25 years ago, not the same nutritional value. The chemicals that are put in our foods today, I mean, they keep just changing and tricking. All natural doesn't mean all natural anymore. Organic doesn't even mean, or grass-fed doesn't even mean grass-fed anymore. I mean, there's so many different ways that the industry just continues to trick us. It's sad. And unfortunately, we're under attack every day. You're sitting in traffic in a car on the way to work in the morning, and you're breathing in what? You're breathing in chemical or toxins into your body. So our bodies are under attack, more so than ever before. And as a result of that, we are getting sicker than ever before. And how do we know that what we've been doing for the last 80 to 100 years isn't working? It's very simple. Here's how we know. Think about the evolution of technology, the evolution of money, the evolution of all of these things since 1920. We've come a long way, right? But we're continuing to get sicker, not healthier. Do you realize that my generation is the first generation that is not projected to outlive their parents' generation? Now, I'm not saying that we're sicker today than we were in 1920, but what I am saying is that we've demonstrated over that period of time that the average age is getting longer and longer and longer until now. So we have some serious challenges that we have to address. And what it's also saying is that what we're doing is not working. You cannot generalize health. You cannot generalize health, period. You know, anytime that something is created for the masses, something is going to get missed. Someone is going to get sick because they are generalizing their health, period. You can't generalize it. And that's what they've tried to do. So they discovered that nutrition has this tremendous influence on these actionable genes. And so guess what was born? This concept, this idea, the nutrigenomics, right? So nutrigenomics, not that that's on the screen. Nutrigenomics is the study of your genes in relationship to nutrition, especially pertaining to sickness, illness, and disease. And you know what they found? They found that this can have a huge impact on these. You know what else they found? This is another huge discovery, that these are directly linked to specific illness and disease. And not only that, but through all of these studies, they were able to identify which diseases are specifically linked to certain actionable genes, also referred to now as SNPs, which is what we're testing for. So, and not just that, take it a step further, they were able to find out and identify which specific ingredients can alter the expression of these actionable genes, which is amazing. Like this stuff, I geek out at this stuff. Like how many of you guys, just by show of hands, drop an I in the comment section if you find this fascinating, like, or at the very least interesting, right? I mean, this is interesting stuff. So let me put it to you another way. So let's say that you inherited a gene. A couple people raising their hands. Good, good, good. Thank you, thank you. So let's say that you inherited, thank you. Thank you for not leaving me hanging, Maya. I appreciate that. So let's say that you inherited a actionable gene. Okay, this is your gene, and I'm not an artist, but let's say this is your gene. And this gene is associated with any one of these. Heart disease, which is still the #1 killer in the United States, barely, right above cancer, right? Or let's say you inherited an actionable gene that's associated with dementia, right? Or obesity, or depression, and anxiety, mental illness. Okay, we can keep going on and on and on. So let's say that you inherited a gene associated with any one of these things. Doesn't mean that you are going to, you have this destiny now that you're going to have heart disease. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. A cocktail of sadness. That's a good way of putting it, Iberia. It doesn't mean that, but it means that it's more probable, it's more likely, you have a higher percentage of, that you have a gene that at any time could turn on that is linked to one of these diseases. So let me give you an example. So let me show you this. So this is my, my report, my DNA report. And in my report, I had all of these, look, I have 2 reds, I've got several yellows, I've got some greens. So some of the SNPs that I inherited are associated with heart disease. Well, my dad had triple bypass surgery. So, you know, for me, that wasn't a surprise. But it was very enlightening to me. But what I also found was this, that this gene can either go one way towards health or one way towards disease. And I have control over it. So in other words, my genes do not determine my fate. They don't determine my fate. I actually have some control over it. So just because you have a family that has addiction problems and genetically that's passed down, or you have a family that has heart disease challenges or cancer in the family, does not mean that you are destined to have those same things. You have control. You have the ability to be able to alter the expression of these genes. So how many of you would like to see some of these go this direction towards health as opposed to this direction towards disease? All of you. And that's essentially what's happening, is they found that there are specific ingredients that are clinically proven to alter the expression of these genes. And that is where we come from. That's the whole science behind what it is that we do. So Uforia Science, it's an amazing, amazing story. So, you know, from the Human Genome Project, about 20 different doctors and genetic specialists, so they got together, 20 different doctors got together in the early 2000s, and they started writing these different algorithms and a software that analyzes your DNA. Essentially, it's a panel test, and directly relates those results to certain illness and disease, and then takes it a step further and now brings in nutrition, specific ingredients that are all clinically proven to alter the expression of those genes. And so as they started working on this software, and it was introduced and it was tested over 10 years, so it was tested over 10 years on 50,000 people. It's actually a little higher, I was like 55,000. 50,000 plus people. And then from there, the challenge was it wasn't scalable, right? It wasn't scalable because every single canister, every single formulation had to be unique. It had to be totally custom. It couldn't be mass produced. And so then they had to figure out, how can we scale this, right? Because remember, up to until now, you had to go see a specialist to be able to get this done. So then they engineered a machine. We call it the nutritionator. And the nutritionator is the only machine in the world. We invested somewhere in the neighborhood of about $2.5 million to create this machine. And this machine is amazing. What it does is it now, you know, they start with a canister, and your label goes on the canister with your name on it. See my name on it. You can see when the product was manufactured. It's usually manufactured within a couple of days of you receiving it. They scan this barcode and the results of your DNA test comes up. And then this canister goes through this machine that we engineered, and it drops in the active ingredients that are addressing your specific SNPs. And out the other side comes your custom nutrition. No 2 results are ever the same. There's nearly 400 million possible combinations. 400 million possible combinations. No 2 are ever the same, and yours is one of them. We like to call it Amazon proof, because those of us that actually promote for this company, if you've been around for a while, you could go to any company that's out there in the industry and go to Amazon and search for their products and find them for about 50 cents on the dollar. It's Amazon proof, because I don't know why you guys would want to buy my DNA product. So when we talk about true customization, Uforia is the first and the only company that is doing what we're doing at this level, especially with the type of panel that we have. Somebody used the analogy the other day. I like this analogy. They said that we're the Swiss Army knife of panels. We're the Swiss Army knife of the different tests. And I have an illustration that I can show you just to kind of give you an example of what that looks like, because I think it's a good analogy. So the Swiss Army knife is essentially what we're doing is we're testing all of these different SNPs, right? So we're testing about 660,000 genes. We're testing specifically for 18 different SNPs. And we're testing all of these different things. And you'll find in the future, there'll be companies that come out because DNA is such a hot market right now. You're going to see companies that might have, or they test for the weight loss gene, or they might test for the inflammatory response. But there's nobody that is providing this level of comprehensive panel testing. And it's simply because of the software and what it is that we do. So exciting stuff. So how does it all start? So I kind of skipped over that. I want to make sure I touch on that. It all starts with one of these beautiful kits. You can order one of these beautiful kits. They're $159. And there's so much value inside of this kit. Like, it still blows my mind. So inside of this kit is, first thing you're going to get is this. It's called your pretrition. Okay, pretrition. So pretrition has all of these different ingredients. Some of these ingredients target inflammation at the body, which is inflammation in the body, which is the root cause of most chronic illness. Some of these ingredients that are in here you've got digestive enzymes and prebiotics that are targeting your gut health, which is the epicenter of your immune system. There's a product in here called AC11. You can see right up here, it says featuring AC11 with 8 different patents. AC11, guys, is the only known substance on the planet that regrows your telomeres. So as we get a little bit older, here's what happens. So you have, at the cellular level, we have these things called telomeres. You might have seen products, or on some of your skincare products, you might see something that says telomere. I don't know if I spelled that right, but I'm close enough. Telomere support. So telomere is kind of like a little cylinder inside your cells. And as we get a little bit older, what happens is it starts to fray on the end, and it starts to get shorter. And when that happens, that's where the aging process comes from. So when you hear the term anti-aging or telomere support, what's happening is they're trying to figure out ingredients or give you products that are going to slow down this process. But wouldn't it be cool if there was some type of ingredient that actually could regrow your telomeres? And we have it. It has 8 different patents, and it's called AC11, and it's in this product. That's just one of many, many products that ingredients that are in this product that are absolutely amazing. So we have all of that. And if you were to go out, we actually did a test on this, and I'll show you this. So we did a test on this just to see in our base formula, if you were to go out and source each one of these ingredients, what would you spend? So look at some of the ingredients. AC11. How many of you love acai juice, right? I was just on the phone with a new friend, and we were talking a bit about a former company in acai. So we have the purest form of acai that's out there, freeze-dried. Acerola, anybody know what the acerola fruit is? Has huge benefits. There have been companies that have gone to over $100 million focused around just the acerola berry alone. Astaxanthin, another incredible product. Just go Google the benefits of astaxanthin. Broccoli powder, carrot juice powder. How many of you go and juice every morning? You know, a lot of these ingredients that are being put in those juices that you spend $10 a day on, you're going to find in here. And it's in its purest form. And you should know that every single ingredient is non-GMO, vegan-friendly, gluten-free, organic, or wild-crafted when available. And here's the best part. Every single ingredient that we use, and remember, this is our base formula. This is just pretrition, has been clinically proven with 2 independent peer-reviewed studies to show that those ingredients actually are linked directly to your DNA, to the results of your DNA test, to alter and or support those genes. Pretty impressive, right? Frankincense. You guys know how much frankincense is kind of expensive when you go out and you start buying some of these oils. My wife practically bathes in it. She loves that stuff. So all kinds of great stuff that's just in white tea extract. I mean, just go Google the health benefits of white tea extract. Unbelievable health benefits. They've now shown that it may actually prevent or slow down the effects of cancer. They're showing that white tea, men that drink white tea and green tea have a 46% less chance of gaining prostate cancer than those that don't drink it. This in itself, you guys, is an absolutely amazing product. So this is all in just your basic DNA kit. This right here. Take 3 in the morning, 3 in the evening. So you do that. You start with that. You also have a little card in here that tells you exactly what to do. There's a little step-by-step on how to do this. And there's a little swab test in here. So you swab your right cheek and your left cheek, and you put it into a little envelope. And then you put the envelope into the prepaid package. And the package, you drop it into the mail. And 14 business days later, it is business days, by the way, you're going to get this report back. And this report, you guys, is unbelievable. Like, it's a 35-page wellness report. I laminated mine. I suggest that you do the same thing. So thank you, William. I appreciate that. So this wellness report is unbelievable. Guys, like, there's so much information. You know what this is? It's like having a roadmap to your optimal health. How many of you know people that have been guessing, wondering, stressing, trying to figure out, going from doctor to doctor, trying to figure out what's wrong with them? Could it be genetic? Could the reason why you can't lose weight be genetic? 100%. Could the reason why you're struggling with depression and anxiety challenges be the genetic? Absolutely. Could the reason why you have zero energy be genetic? Absolutely. Could the reason why you're getting nauseous and sick on a regular basis be genetic? Yeah, because you know what? If you have a certain gene, like the MTHFR gene, and you're taking regular B vitamins and a regular multivitamin, and you have that gene, which 1/3 of you do, those B vitamins are making you sick because they're not methylated. So anybody that has the MTHFR gene has to take methylated B vitamins. A lot of people don't know that stuff. So this report is going to give you all of that information. And then, Laura, we were talking, I think Laura's on here tonight, so I want to show her this. So in the back of the book, she said, well, does it show the clinical studies anywhere? Like, is the science really there? That's where we shine. So if you go into this book, all of the studies are in here for every single ingredient that is used in your personalized formulation of nutrition. And what I also love is it breaks down the supplement facts. So here is all of my personalized blends addressing those specific SNPs that I showed you. So I've got the MTHFR blend that's in here. I've got the VDR blend that's in here. I have the FTO blend in here. Now this is on top of all of the base formula that I've already showed you. Guys, this is unbelievable. And then it tells you from there what this is going to be. And every month you get this and it shows you your ingredients. Summer and I get it. And you know what? Our products are totally 2 different colors. They're totally different. So no 2 are ever the same. And I got to tell you guys, it's making a huge impact. It's kind of like this. I'll wrap up this first part of this discussion tonight by saying this. Let me just ask you a couple of questions. I want you guys to answer these questions. If you want, answer them in the chat box if you would like to. I'd love to get a little bit of interaction. So answer them in the chat box as I go along. And if not, just answer them to yourself, okay? Number 1 question. Do you value your health? Do you value your health? Yes or no? Iberia says yes. Hopefully, everybody on here says yes. William, thank you. William says yes. Right? Hopefully no one's going, no, don't value my health at all. In fact, I've had very few people that have said no to that question. And everybody values their health. Okay, cool. So now, some of you might say this. Some of you might say yes and no. Now, what does that mean? Yes, I value my health, but no, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to take care of myself. How many of you relate to that? Anybody? Yes, I value my health, but I'm not doing what I need to. A couple of you raised your hands, okay? So that's the first question. Second question, do you take vitamins or supplements on a regular basis? And if not, do you at least believe that you should? Okay, answer yes or no to that question. Do you take vitamins or supplements on a regular basis, or do you at least believe that you should? Okay. Third question that I would ask you then is, are those vitamins or supplements generic or are they custom? Okay. Meaning, did you just order them online? Did you go to Costco? Did you go to High Health and get those vitamins and supplements that were made for the masses? Or did you go and see a specialist and have those products made specifically for you? Okay. Now, last question. And by the way, I'm guessing that 99% of you have so far said, yes, I value my health, or at least yes and no. Yes, I take vitamins and supplements, or I should. And most of you have probably answered that to this point, you've probably taken mostly generic supplements, okay? Here's the last question. If all things were equal, and you now had a choice, and you could take a genetic test that tells you which genes that you've inherited that are linked to major illnesses and diseases that we struggle with as a society. And then you could get a report that gives you a roadmap to your optimal health. And then you could have a custom formulation of nutrition that was made just for you. Okay? If all things were equal, would you still take the generic, or would you rather have something custom? If all things were equal, would you still take the generic, or would you take the custom? Which would you prefer? Right? Which would you prefer? Custom, right? If you're saying generic, then I'm kind of blown a little bit, because custom, everything, we all want customization, personalization. Personalization is the future. Do you guys realize USA Today said that the personalized healthcare market will be worth $600 billion by this year? It's where everything is going. It's the future of medicine. Generalized health is out. It's kind of like saying, look, if you had the choice between a custom tailor-made designer suit that was made just for you, or ladies, a beautiful dress that was made just for you, or one that was sold at JCPenney, if all things were equal, which are you going to choose, right? Customization. Well, if you answer customization, then we can help. Right, you're right. Usually it's very expensive, but the beautiful thing is not anymore. Not anymore. We've changed that, because now you can gain access to all of this. What if I told you that this was $5 a day? About the cost of a Starbucks to be able to get this type of nutrition. Somebody says, well, the other day goes like, I don't know, it's kind of expensive. I'm like, expensive? They're like, well, why is it so expensive to be healthy? And I'm like, why? You think it's expensive to stay healthy? Try getting sick. Because I promise you, once you get into the sick care system, then tell me what's more expensive, right? An ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure all day long. And so that is Uforia and DNA nutrition in a nutshell. So if you haven't ordered it yet, guys, you got to find out what this report says about you. You got to be curious. And there is nothing like getting your own custom nutrition made for you. Does your generic supplements have your name on it? Probably not. Now, I want to announce something fun here, and then we'll get into the business a little bit tonight. I'm not to talk too much business tonight, but I do want to announce something that is going to just, I think, blow your mind. This is a huge announcement, and I'm excited to introduce this tonight. So I did a Facebook Live today, and I talked about transformation, and I talked about how or why we struggle with transformation. Like, why do most people struggle with it? Think about it for a moment. So it's January 14th. Do you guys realize that I don't know the exact percentage, I need to look it up again, but it's something like more than 60% of the people have already given up on their New Year's resolutions. 13 days into the new year, right? New Year seems like it was far ago already. It seems like it was months ago already. Why do we struggle with transformation? Why? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, because of fear, right? Fear of the unknown. We don't like uncertainty. We don't like change. Fear of giving up something is a big one, right? I mean, I know I struggle with this. Anytime that I start thinking about, okay, I've got to get myself in shape again, my mind starts going to places of what I'm going to have to give up. And I don't like to give up things. Like, there's things that I like. We like certain foods, doing certain things that bring us instant gratification. And those things may not be good for us. Staying up late or eating a cheeseburger all the time, which I love, cheeseburgers. Anybody? I'm a big cheeseburger fan. So, and my family is focused around the 3 F's. Do you guys know what the 3 F's are? Family, food, and fun. Like, that's our culture. So, like, when I start thinking about I got to get back in shape, immediately I start thinking about how I have to cut my portion sizes in half. I have to give up some of the foods that I like. And all these things, and you know what? Our mind combats that. It protects us from that in some ways. It's kind of a protection mechanism. And so we struggle with transformation. That's one reason. Another reason is we don't burn the bridges of retreat, right? And it's too easy to retreat. I'll give you an example. People go to the gym. It's the new year. They're ready to get in shape. They're committed, right? This is it. I'm getting in shape. And then the guy says, well, would you rather have a 30-day membership month to month you pay a little bit more, or would you rather sign up for a year, really commit to this thing? You're going to get like 20 to 30% off, and you're really committing to your overall health. What you choose? Most people go, oh, I'm going to choose the 1 month. Why? Because in the back of their mind, they're going, well, if this doesn't work out, I at least have an out. That's not burning the bridges of retreat, guys. You know what a commitment is? I'm making a commitment. I'm going to be standing in this gym 1 year from now. That's a commitment. People do it in our business and our profession all the time. They join. There's all these different options to join. They go to the path of least resistance, the littlest amount. They put the littlest amount of skin in the game. And then they wonder why, when the first time that they face a little bit of opposition, rejection, they're met with that fear they have to face a little bit. They're like, no thanks, I'm gone, right? Because they have no skin in the game. There's not really a commitment there. So we see this all the time. So these are all just some reasons why people struggle with transformation. So I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about how could we address some of these things. And Uforia, and more specifically, the group that we are all a part of, has come up with this amazing, amazing transformation challenge that addresses all of the issues that most people face that keep them from being able to transform. So we call it the ultimate 90-day transformation. Or some people call it the challenge. Transformation. I am not spelling right tonight, but you guys know where I'm going here. Been a long day. That says transformation, trust me. So the ultimate 90-day you transformation. In fact, let me just show you this because this is pretty cool. So we just kicked this off last night. I mean, this is so new, and it is just providing so much value. So the Ultimate You 90-day boot camp, and essentially what it does is we are now putting together this entire program. It's not just, getting your DNA products anymore. It's an entire program that you're getting involved with. And so what's included in this program? Let me show you. So number one, we have all of these different experts that are going to be coaching you. And when I say experts, I'm talking about certified nutritionists. I'm talking about, hang on a second, got somebody unmuted here. Let me unmute. There we go. So we have all these different experts that are going to be coaching you. So nutritionists, fitness experts, we've got even psychologists that are in there, and they're going to be coaching you on a few different things. So the first thing that we're going to be doing for the people that get involved in this transformation is we're going to be giving them daily workouts 5 days a week. So daily workouts 5 days a week. And we give them a quick workout that they can do at home. They don't even have to go to a gym to do it. And again, these experts, these certified fitness experts are giving you these daily workouts 5 days a week. And on top of that, they're going to give you mindset training 7 days a week, because so much of transformation is up here, right? It's about dealing with those fears. It's about overcoming some of those barriers that we've talked about tonight, getting your mind right. So they're going to be doing this, and it's 15 minutes per day of working out, 15 minutes a day of mindset for 30 minutes a day, right? You're committing 30 minutes a day to your overall health. In addition to that, they're going to be providing you with all of the recipes. They're giving you a recipe book and constant daily suggestions about food and what we should be eating and different recipes, because that's my big challenge. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, okay, I'm ready to eat healthy, and 2 things that I can think of: chicken and rice. I'm like, I can't think of anything else to make. It's like tonight, I'm like, what do I want to eat for dinner tonight? I want to eat healthy. So what's healthy? Chicken and rice. So I guess I can put barbecue on the chicken, teriyaki on the chicken. That's where I get stuck. So all these different recipes. Weekly accountability is another reason, right? A lot of people don't achieve their goals when it comes to transformation because they're not measuring on a weekly basis. If you don't measure something, it can't be improved. And so weekly accountability is going to be there. Every Sunday you're checking in. All of this is part of this transformation, this 90-day program. And by the way, it's been scientifically proven that it takes 90 days to truly create or transform your body, your mind, and go through a true transformation process, right? So, and it includes your nutrition, right? Which is the foundation for your overall health, because everything starts here. Everything you do here leads into everything else. energy, recovery, all that, feeding your body at the cellular level, giving body what it needs, when it needs it to be able to heal itself from the inside out. No, I didn't just say that we heal things or heal people things. We heal people. What I'm saying is I believe that the body was designed to heal itself from the inside out. And to do that, you need proper raw materials. I'm saying that so that when somebody comes back and the people that that watch all these videos that make sure that we are compliant, they know that I didn't just make a claim. So all of this 90-day challenge, and if you think about it, like if you were to go hire a personal trainer is going to cost you about $300 a month, maybe more. It's depending on how good the trainer is, and how long you're training with them, how many days. Certified nutritionist, you might spend another $150 a month if you're doing the food plans and all that. It could be even more than that. If you're hiring a mindset coach, I've had people that have I've coached for years that have spent thousands of dollars, a month to be coached to have me focus on their mindset and coaching and their business coaching. So to be able to gain access to all of this would normally cost you thousands of dollars. And this is the best part about this. The only cost to participate in this whole group where all of this is happening is you got to spend $159 to buy your nutrition, and you got to spend $159 a month for at least 2 months. That's a total of 90 days. You got to commit to at least 90 days, and you're in the program. Now, there is, by the way, you do have to do your one-time DNA test. We can't get around that. That's a third-party fee. It's a one-time DNA test. Your DNA is the same as the day that you're born, as the day that you die. You don't have to keep doing it. So you have to do this one time so that we can get this report back so that we know how to create your custom nutrition. That's it. So $159, $99 to have your DNA tested, and then you got to commit to 2 months of your custom nutrition. That's it, you guys. And you're in the Ultimate You Challenge. So I'm doing this. I'm doing it. I've said for the last year, last year was my first year I went into the summer, and I was actually embarrassed about how I looked and I felt. And I hated it. And I'm not going to do it again. And you know what? I actually thought about what were the reasons why that I didn't really transform my body. And it really came back to all of the things that we talked about. Fear of giving up things that I don't, I'm afraid to give up because I enjoy them. And just there's so many different variables. And when you look at it, I'm burning the bridge of retreat. Why? Because I'm making a commitment. I'm getting, accountability from top experts and coaches. You have to check in on a weekly basis. Some lack of knowledge is not going to be an excuse. So I'm making a commitment. That's really what this program is about. And I'm super excited about this. I'm doing this, you guys. And we're going to give away prizes to those that have the greatest transformation, not who loses the most weight, because weight is not necessarily about health. It's about transformation. So it's going to be a really fun group. I think we had something like 60 people register for the Ultimate You Challenge today, right? Quick Kit. Okay, so somebody asked, does the Quick Kit allow you to get in? So the Quick Kit, you have to do the Quick Kit, but remember, the Quick Kit only comes with 10 days of pre-nutrition, right? So it's only 10 days. So you would need you'd need to commit to at least 3 months on 159 because the Quick Kit's only 10 days of pre-nutrition. And so, you would have to commit instead of a minimum of 2 at 159, you got to commit to at least 3 159 custom nutrition orders, and you can do it with your Quick Kit. Pretty cool, right? So, I've talked a lot tonight. I don't know if I'm going to get too much into the business, but I will just say this. I've promoted a lot of companies over 15 years. And by the way, if you go to my YouTube channel, you can find trainings on the comp plans. You can see full business overviews. You can see, all the people behind the company, all that stuff. But I'm just going to tell you this. At the end of the day, I'll also ask you some questions. If you were going to promote a product or get involved and start a business, here's the first question that I would ask. If all things were equal, right, and you had the choice, would you choose option number 1, right, which is a business that you are responsible for all of the marketing, all of the sales, all of the payroll, all of the expenses, right, that in those expenses are everything from your electric and your payroll, your taxes, you're responsible for the software system. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Would you rather be in category 1 where you're responsible, all hinges on you, or would you rather be involved in option number 2 where basically all the marketing has been designed for you, payroll's taken care of, company handles all of the expenses that include logistics and packaging and all of those things. You don't have to worry about the electric and the taxes and the software and any of those things. And essentially, they give you a turnkey business model and a plan of action that allows you to go out and promote a product, and all you have to do is basically go out and just tell people about it. Which would you choose? Option number 1 or option number 2? I would imagine most of you would choose option number 2, right? That's why I love this business. I would pay $100,000 gladly to be able to go and promote this product right now. Now, the next question I would ask you is, if you're going to promote a product, would you rather promote a product that everybody has or only you have? Right? Would you rather promote a product that everybody has or you have? So, I was just chatting with a friend of mine again that we just met, Laura, and we were talking a little bit about CBD. I love CBD. I think it's an amazing product. It has huge health benefits. But I also likened it to back in around 2006, 2007, there was a company that was focused around the acai berry that was one of the fastest companies to $1 billion. They were also the fastest back down. And when it went back down, part of the reason it went back down was because all of a sudden, Dr. Oz started talking about acai, and then acai showed up everywhere, right? You could go to Costco and buy the fully concentrated bottle for $8, and this company was selling them for $35, and then you had to pay expensive shipping because they were in a glass bottle. and so they started going down, right? The market became saturated. The term that I would use is red ocean versus blue ocean, right? If you've read the book called Blue Ocean Strategy, red ocean is fiercely competitive market. Everybody's fighting over the same market share. The author describes it as, quote, bloody, murky waters. There's a lot of red oceans out there in the network marketing space in the industry today. Blue ocean is, there's no competition because you've changed the game. And that's really what Uforia has done. Now, I want you to know, it doesn't mean there won't be competition. There will be companies. I heard there's a company coming that's going to do a weight loss panel, and they'll do just weight loss. But none of them are doing what we do at the level that we do it with the verticals that we have, right? When I say verticals, just one vertical. I just heard a rumor we're getting ready to order $1.5 million machine that's required to be able to produce DNA skincare. So that's coming soon. So would you rather be in a red ocean or a blue ocean? I think that, number 1, I'm guessing you chose that you'd rather have the business where all of those expenses are taken care of. Number 2, you'd rather be in a business with a blue ocean, right? CBD, great product. 31 companies, 31 CBD oil companies launched in 2019. 31 in 2019 alone. So for me, I had to have a couple of things. It had to be a complete blue ocean. I had to be the one and only. It had to have the right backing and people behind the company at the helm, which we do. I mean, we've got an all-star team. Eric Worre, anybody heard his name? He's our head trainer. Ron Williams, been in the industry 30 years, one of the best CEOs out there. And LaCour Enterprises, handling all the logistics, which, they're amazing. So it had to have all of those things. And for me, guys, would you rather be, here's my last question. Would you rather be first or last? Would you rather be at the beginning or the end, right? Every company looks like this. Any successful company looks like this. This is the beginning, this is the middle, and this is when they start to hit stabilization and they've been around a while. Where do you think most of the money's made? Is it made here? Is it made here? I can tell you this, these are the pioneers. And if you guys remember history, it was always the pioneers they wrote about in the history books. I like to be involved in the early stages. Uforia pre-launched 1 year ago, and we are now entering into, right about here, where we've now gone through this inception to pre-launch stage where we've got everything dialed in, and now we're starting to go into our momentum phase. And that momentum phase is where you will see some additional products added, and you will start to see some significance as this product goes from no one knowing about it to everyone knowing about it. The timing couldn't be any better. So if you guys are interested in the business, guys, now is the time to get involved. Now is the time. And we've got different kits and options available to you. We've got a single kit. If you're a customer, start there. If you're a business builder, we've got a 3-pack, 5-pack, and 10-pack. Talk with the person that referred you here, and they'll help you decide which one of those business kits is best to get started with. So my throat's getting scratchy, so I think I'm going to wrap up there tonight. I've been talking all day today. Hopefully you learned something today. Hopefully you got some value out of today's presentation. I will take this presentation and upload it to my YouTube channel, so feel free to come over there. If you want to participate in the Ultimate You Challenge, you do have a deadline, so you have to order your product by January 24th so that it arrives by the start date of February 1st. So you've got just a few days to get that product ordered to participate in this first 90-day Ultimate You transformation. How many of you guys are going to do it with me? I want to know how many of you guys are going to make that commitment. It's scary, right? Like I was a little bit out. I went out and told everybody in Facebook Land today I'm doing this challenge because I wanted to commit to it. So how many of you guys want to do it with me? Would love to have you there. Thanks you guys so much for watching, you guys. Appreciate it. We've got a lot of wonderful events to plug into that are happening around the country. Tomorrow night in Costa Mesa, Friday and Saturday in Las Vegas. If you're there, get to Las Vegas, you guys. That Saturday training, I'm going to spend all day in front of this whiteboard training. If you really want to learn how to build this business, I looked last night. I got a flight. I didn't even book my flight to Vegas until last night. I'm going on Friday. And I got a flight for $37 on Allegiant Airlines to go to Vegas. And hotels right now are cheap. So come on out to Vegas and spend the weekend with us. And with that, you guys have a wonderful day. Appreciate you guys watching tonight. You guys take care.